Greetings. Peace and blessings, harmony, prosperity to all. I wanted to make this quick. I'm not even gonna say it's quick, but I'm gonna make a very valid point to those that are experiencing or currently experiencing like this transformation in their life. And what I'm speaking about is how could I say this? There's gonna come. Let me go ahead and get this adjusted. So there's gonna come a moment, because I gotta release this as it comes to me. It's like I get more clarity and certain things come. There's gonna be moments. This is for a lot of us that's on this path or on this journey, whether you want to title it a spiritual journey, if you want to label whatever it is, and you're coming into this more of awareness consciously, or more awareness of yourself, your higher self, a higher power source, prime, God, all these things. What I want to express to you is that the more deeper you go and learn about yourself through the experience of other people, whether they're mirroring back to you your own things that you will someday come to acknowledge, as you accept and acknowledge these things, you will begin to realize that it can seem like as you're transitioning or elevating or ascending, you realize that you let go of things more, and it's more easier not to tolerate those things more. And it's not so much them being tolerable, but it's more of your spirit, your being is more at ease when you simply allow these things to fall by the wayside or reveal themselves, and then you begin to breathe through them. Then you begin to lean more and embrace more of the bliss and harmonious aspects of life. And not only just that, it's more of, I myself had come to this more of acceptance of who people are, and in this less suffering that we cause ourselves, or myself, when I'm not so focused on how people are acting, what they're doing, what their reaction is to what I say, what I do. And as you grow in life, because I had to change this. One thing I will always say is like, oh, we're all going through. And everyone is not going through something. Can you run through a brick wall? No. But you can grow through something. Yes, you can grow through the crack in the concrete. You can grow around, or you can grow through the cracks of the brick. You can grow up, and you can grow out and away from other things. So that's my message to you today, is that you're growing, not only internally, but you're acknowledging through the acknowledgement and acceptance of the seeds that you've planted in the past. The more you accept, the more we accept what has happened individually, the more we see our individual path, the more we'll see how what we do individually has a profound effect, or will ripple like a water drop and ripple and touch everyone in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's through speaking, whether it's through music, whether it's through artistry, whether it's through everything that we're doing. And see, the more we're becoming more consciously aware that we are creative beings, we are co-creators of the Creator, Source, Prime. We are energy beings, we are frequencies, we are vibrations, we are spirit. And so through that expression of what we're doing, we'll realize that we're letting go and shedding old versions and layers of ourselves that no longer serve not only where we're going, but it's as we're elevating or growing up, or as we're growing, as I will always say previously, the tree and this tree, or this flower, they're not concerned about if this flower is outgrowing them. They're not concerned about if this flower has more pollen to produce. They're not concerned about if this tree has more leaves or if this tree is getting more malnourishment. Or no, that same water that both of those trees, when the rain falls or by it being near a river or any type of stream of water, all of those trees are still getting and receiving water from source. And that's what's so important about water. And I'll get on this topic even where our ancestors, and the ancient ones will see the importance of water because we come from water. Our body is made up of water. Oxygen is in water. They honored the land and the water because the water was seen to be sacred. And so these things are very important, and that's why our body needs more water than just about anything. And then even with breathing, because there's oxygen and water, so we need both water and we both need to breathe. So we breathe when we get here, we breathe when we leave. And then even through that whole process, now you see why a lot of people talk about, oh yeah, you need to eat certain things or do this and do this. Everyone's not supposed to, it's going to do the same thing. This would be so boring if everyone did. But and then another thing I want to share with people, you're growing doesn't mean you're leaving someone behind. If this tree is growing, this tree could have been planted seasons ago, and this tree could have just been planted. But that tree, the one that's already growing, whether its size is bigger, doesn't matter, because this tree that's just now sprouting is still looking to see what it will someday become. And then even the tree that's this big and huge, at once upon a time was still that seed or that sprout or that, that little tree or however you branch or whatever that first had to be that size before. But even in all of that, none of the trees look the same. None of us look the same. But in essence, we're all connected some way, somehow. Again, those trees still get some type of malnourishment of water from the same source, from the same water around the world. That same water that connects us all. And so what I'm seeing is that when we on these social media platforms, spirit is like, wow, everybody's trying to persuade or convince people of their version of love. And most likely is their perception of love due to their experience of what they saw love, what they see love to be, or what they feel love should be in someone else's eyes. Not everyone, but this is from myself, or even taking into account that I had to accept that. No one is really going to see it my way. But in a sense, is that it's not for me to convince them. And so another message I want to share with you all is that there's no convincing. There is no saving anyone. The greatest love of all is within yourself. The God or the greatest thing that you're seeking is within yourself. And so that journey can seem lonely, but I always like the Earth, Wind, and Fire song. I think it's like fantasy, and it talks about how, there are others. I don't know, not word for word, but I know that when there are others, what's seeking you, what you're seeking is seeking you. So there's others along your path. That as you outgrow people, you're not necessarily leaving them behind. You're just outgrowing their perception of how they perceive you and how you perceive yourself. Did you get that? You're outgrowing the perception, your old version of yourself, and you perceive yourself, even that new version that you're seeing is someday going to become the old version again. And so this is why, again, that you'll realize through our journey, your individual journey, that it's other people's emotional attachment to the idea of who you should be and how you should be. And even someday, even if they do not come to the acceptance of this, is that their actions and your actions have nothing to do with them. And your actions has everything to do with you first, your well-being. Once you start to take care and nourish yourself and learn what it is to be self-sufficient and dependent on self. And then seeing how that affects not just you, but everyone. So, again, it's like you got to balance these things out, because when you're looking at these social media and all these other things, that is shortening people's attention span to the idea of what we're really here to do. Are you serving these platforms, or are they serving you? So in essence, remember, do not forget who you are. Your essence is everything. Return to the essence of who you are. This is what people are really fighting over right now. Is that they have it's an identity crisis, and the mental health is at an all-time high right now. The mental illness, because the world has told you who to be, but who are you before the world told you who to be? Who are you before your mother, your fathers, or any of these things, these programmings? Who are you? So I challenge you. Find yourself, seek yourself. Peace and blessing. Shalom.